Alright, this is part one of my CD collection. Now before I get this started, I just want to get it out here. I don't have any bias towards any type of rap. I like it all. I like gangster rap, pop, R&B, all of it, commercial stuff. So I got a little bit of everything in my CD collection. I got everything from Drake, to Wu-Tang Clan, Smooth the Hustler, to MC Ren. So you need a little bit of everything. What inspired me to do this is this Facebook group I belong to. It's called Digging in the CDs. A lot of other people that got some dope hip hop albums like I do. And shout out to Ryan Smith on Facebook. He's the one that inspired me to do this. So without further ado, here we go. First up, we got Ice-T's 1993 album, Home Invasion. When this first came out, I was a really big fan of it. When I first heard it. But after a second listen, it's still a good album. It's not my favorite Ice-T album, though. It's definitely dope, though. I don't know. It is what it is. Ice-T, Home Invasion, 1993. Dope album, though. Ice-T is one of the pioneers of West Coast rap. And we got Busta Rhymes' second album, When Disaster Strikes. Me personally, I like this one better than The Coming, 1997. This one's 1997. Might be a little long with 18 tracks, but very dope album from 97. And we got Masta Ace Incorporated, Slaughterhouse. Really dope album. Might kind of sound dated nowadays, but dope album from 1993, Masta Ace Incorporated, Slaughterhouse. Then we got the second album from Masta Ace Incorporated, Sitting on Chrome. This one's kind of got more of a West Coast vibe to it than Slaughterhouse, but it's hard to choose which one I like the best. I go back and forth, but if you're more into West Coast sounding beats, probably go with this one. If you're more into East Coast stuff, you probably go with Slaughterhouse. Then we got my favorite album, My Fat Joe, 1995, Jealous One's Envy. It's also the first appearance of Big Pun. Just some dope stuff here, you got some features from KRS-One. Even Raekwon pops up on this one. Dope album by him. I think Fat Joe's really underrated in my opinion too. Then we got Organized Confusion, Stress, The Extinction Agenda. I like the album. Organized Confusion, not for everybody really. But I liked it. I need to give it another listen or two, but definitely, I'm really happy to own this one. And then we got Above the Law's 1998 album, Legends. I haven't really listened to this one that much, but I've skimmed through it. It's got some really dope tracks on there. I like the production on it. Songs to check out on this one are number 6, Clinic Niggas, and number 13, Karma. Those are my favorite songs from this album. I need to go back and listen to it again, but overall it's a pretty good album from Above the Law. And then we got Ghetto Boys 1993 album Till Death Do Us Part. This is after Willie D left the group in 91 or 92 after the Mind Playing Tricks on Me album. So you got Big Mike and Willie D's place. Overall, it's a pretty good album. I think Big Mike is a pretty good rapper himself, you know. And he got some classic joints like 6 Feet Deep and Straight Gangsterism. So if you're a fan of, you know, rap a lot and 90s Southern rap, definitely pick that one up. Then you got one of my favorite albums of all time, Eric Sherman's Double or Nothing. A lot of people hate on this album. I don't know why. I think the production on this one's off the chain. But I'm a fan of Eric Sherman, especially his 90s stuff. His production back then was just stupid, man, crazy. But I really don't think there's a bad song on this album. I mean, maybe the first one, Bomb Diggity, but I just love every song on this album. The production on this one was worth for the beats alone. You know, if you're a fan of Eric Sherman, Def Squad, 90s, like the mid-90s stuff, you gotta own this. And we got Shaheem's second album, The Lost Generation. This is a slight improvement, I think, over his first album. You know, you got some production from DR Period. Fans of MOP will know who he is. DR Period produces their first album. A very dark, gritty album. Some classic mid-90s stuff here. Shaheem, The Lost Generation, 1996. And then we got my favorite album from King T so far. His fourth album, I believe, For Life. This is another one of those albums where I love every song on that album. Man, production's tight on here. King T's not a bad rapper at all, really. You know, you even got the Dippin' remix on here, which is pretty dope. And all 12 songs on here are banging. So if you can find this one, get it. It's out of print, so. Some more West Coast stuff. One of the most underrated albums of all time, in my opinion, from the West Coast, Dubseed and the Mad Circles, Curb Surf in 1995. Fucking love this album. Just some classic West Coast stuff here. You know, you even got West Side Connection on here before they were West Side Connection. Mac 10 and Ice Cube appear on West Up. Yeah, man, you should try to find this album if you can. And I got 8Ball and MJG's 1994 album, On Top of the World. To me, it's an interesting one in their catalog. To me, their best album in the 90s is probably Coming Out Hard. I know that might shock a lot of people, but that's just my opinion. I'd say this is a bad album, you know. It's probably my least favorite of them from the 90s, but there's still some dope shit on here. 8Ball and MJG, man. Some underrated pioneers from the South, you know, coming out of Memphis. Orange Mound. Then we got Ice-T's 1996 album, Return to the Real. I really like this album, you know. I think Ice-T's kind of a lot of new kids now, young kids nowadays, man, don't appreciate Ice-T enough. really a pioneer. This album gets kind of a lot of hate, but I mean I like this album. It's dope. You know, you got some really gangster beats on here. And, definitely got a 1996 feel to it, you know. And I got Shaheem's first album, aka The Rugged Child. Overall, it's a pretty good album. I really like a lot of the production on here. And Shaheem's a really talented rapper for his age back then. I think he was only 14 when this came out. But not quite as good as The Lost Generation, but right up there, you know. And we got Ice Cube's 1994, kind of like a compilation album, bootlegs and B-sides. And you got some really great ones on here. You know, you got the What Can I Do remix, like from the video that wasn't on the album. It was on the reissue of Lethal Injection, but not on the original copy, which I own. But got some great songs on here that you can't find on, you know, that were released on the B-side singles and stuff, so pick it up. And we got MC Ren's 1996 album, The Villain in Black. It's a good album. Not quite as good as Shock of the Hour, but it's one of the better West Coast albums of '96, I'd say. I think I only didn't like one song of this album. It was this song with Cold 187 from Bud the Law produced it, and it's got like this guitar riff or whatever, and I just wasn't crazy about that song. But other than that, it's a pretty dope album, you know. Mad Scientist is the shit. That's a great song from MC Ren. Then we got MC8 featuring Compton's Most Wanted, We Come Strapped. This is MC8's first solo album, 1994. To me, when you talk about greatest West Coast albums of all time, this one should definitely be thrown into the conversation, you know. Sure, MC8 isn't the most technical rapper on the planet, but for what he is, he's dope, you know. Classic 94 album. One of the best albums from 1994. It's actually got a Redman feature on there, too. And then we got Eric Sherman's 1996 compilation album, Insomnia. Basically just a bunch of artists Eric Sherman was working with at the time. He got together and produced a bunch of songs for him. Came out on Interscope. It's an alright album. You know, if you're a fan of Eric Sherman's production, definitely pick it up. You probably like it. You know, it's definitely got some classic songs on here, like Redman Funkorama. And, you know, you're bound to find a few songs you're gonna like on this one, so pick it up. And we got EPMD's fourth album, Business Never Personal, 1992. This is their biggest album, selling album. You know, it's got their biggest single on here, Crossover. Not my favorite EPMD album, you know. Probably my least favorite out of the first four, to be honest with you, but dope album nonetheless. And we got Big Daddy Kane's 1990 album, his third album, Taste of Chocolate. You know, Big Daddy Kane, a lot of his work after '89, you know, wasn't up to par with his first two albums. that's mainly just from a production standpoint, because Big Daddy Kane's always a beast on the mic, you know. It's just a lot of his production choices are kind of iffy, to say the least, you know. But for what it is, it's a pretty good album, you know. It might sound kind of dated nowadays, but it's a dope album from 1990. And we got Jamal's 1995 album, Last Chance No Breaks. For those who don't know about Jamal, he was an affiliate of Death Squad and from the group Illegal. This album was okay. I didn't like it as much as a lot of people do, but it was pretty good. I mean, I liked a lot of the production on here. One or two of the songs I couldn't do them out though, but overall, pretty good album, you know. I'd recommend picking it up just to have it. We got Big L's Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous, 1995. Everybody should know about this album and Big L, you know. It's classic New York stuff here. And we got Dawes FX's third album, Hold It Down, 1995. Really dope album, you know. You got the Real Hip Hop Pete Rock remix on here, and a bunch of dope songs. And I already interviewed Dawes FX, and one of the members said this is their favorite album of theirs. Not my favorite album by Dawes FX, probably my second favorite, but dope album from '95. Probably one of the better ones in '95, actually. And we got the only Run DMC album I currently own, Down with King. I really like this album. You know, it's got some great production on here. You got some production from KG from Naughty by Nature, you know, and Pete Rock. So, they kind of adopted a harder sounding image, you know, on this one. Kind of the whole Onyx vibe, you know, with the bald heads and army fatigues, you know, but even Run DMC's not above jumping on some bandwagons, I guess. But pretty dope album by them, man. Some great stuff from '93 here. We got Domino self-titled album, 1993. It's a pretty good album. I mean, Domino's the most skilled rapper on the planet, but he can flow pretty good, and he's got a good ear for production, you know. This is worth picking up just for Ghetto Jam alone, you know, but it's not too long. It's only 10 tracks, which is good, you know, so overall, pretty good album from '93. And then we got Scarface's first album, Mr. Scarface is Back. To me, this is a classic one. I've been really getting a lot more into rap a lot. Early '90s stuff, and their '90s stuff. You know, this is probably one of my favorite Scarface albums, you know. Definitely some classic stuff here. And we got Keith Murray, Enigma. Very slept on album, in my opinion. I fucking love this album. Production is just crazy good. 1996. I like this one better than his first album, The Most Beautiful Thing in This World, you know. And just definitely recommend this one. Some classic Death Squad, mid-90s stuff. Then we got KRS-One's second solo album, self-titled, 95. Fucking, what can I say about this album, man? Classic stuff here, man. It's hard to choose between this and Return to the Boom Bap, but I fucking love this album. We got the Far Side's first album, Bizarre Ride to the Far Side. It's definitely a little out there, you know. Anybody familiar with the Far Side knows about that shit, so. But it's some good stuff, you know. 1992. Pick it up if you're a fan of the Far Side. And we got my favorite album by Onyx, and one of my favorite albums in '95. All We Got Is Us. To me, this, along with Mobb Deep's Hell on Earth, is two of the darkest rap albums ever, you know. Just some gritty New York mid-90s shit here. And fucking love this album. Then we got Mike Geronimo's first album, The Natural, 1995. I think this is some of the first appearances of Jay-Z, DMX, and Ja Rule too. They're all featured on this album on one song, Time to Build. Man, dope album here from '95. Mike Geronimo, The Natural. Pick it up. And then I got Ghostface's third solo album, Bulletproof Wallets. A lot of people hate on this album. I personally like it, you know. One of my favorite Ghostface albums. You know, it's not like the first two at all. You know, it's a lot kind of more commercial, you know, but and R&B oriented. But I'm alright with that, you know. I really like this album, you know. Probably my third favorite Ghostface album. So if you're a fan of Ghostface, definitely own this one. Then we got another one of my top 10 favorite albums of all time, you know, maybe even top 5. Mobb Deep's Hell on Earth. Man, this sounds like some end of the world apocalypse type stuff, you know, just like some shit you play at night, man. To me, this is the Mobb Deep's best album, even better than the Infamous. Mobb Deep, 1996. And I got Mac 10's first album, self-titled. I think this is another underrated West Coast album, in my opinion. You know, some classic mid-90s West Coast stuff. And then we got GZA's third album, technically, Beneath the Surface, 1999. I really like this album, you know. I think it's one of the better of the solo albums from the second wave of Wu-Tang Clan albums after Wu-Tang Forever, you know. Really dope album, man. I'd recommend picking it up. Well, that's part 1 for now. I'll upload part 2 later. Peace and one love.